Hey guys, and welcome back to the Ringer 57 YouTube channel. This is a late night video. I got bags under my eyes. I'm making a major transition to second shift, so hopefully that'll work out better for the racing schedule. I'll be able to run out to midnight or later without worrying about missing work the next day because of sleep. Racing season's gonna be a little funky the rest of the year because I do not have coverage to take days off yet. It's a new shift, everything's great. In any case, next year it's gonna be minty sweet. We have made some upgrades here in the shop. I got some extra lighting over the table. CZQ's chilling here. She's kind of blown back apart because I stole a part for Dragonfly. Now we went and raced Dragonfly. I'm gonna throw that clip in here. It is not a good clip. It was taken for the bike next to me. It's a friend Chad Wright. He spanked my ass. I got more power. He's got way more arm. He can throw it. He's off the line like a madman. I can chase him down all I want. He's still got more. In any case, today's video is going over Dragonfly. Now that she is sold, I'm going to reveal all the little secrets, tips, and tricks that I used to get 200 dyno-proven rear wheel horsepower. And there wasn't a lot to it, so let's go. All right, and here she is, guys. This is Dragonfly. If you don't know what this is my 2005 Suzuki Hayabusa. It had 11,000 miles when I got it. I think it's got 13,000 now. I have not done a whole heck of a lot to this bike. Really, I haven't. It looks from the outside exactly how I bought it, short of the Dragonfly. And we're going to go over the basic mods that were required to get 200 wheel horsepower on it. And almost all of them are DIY at home, with the exception of the tune. It is a salvage title bike. I kind of got shafted on it, and it is sold now. So you're going to see this bike more and more coming into videos as we stretch it, as we get the ET down. I will tell you right now, this bike runs 675 at 116 mile an hour in the 8th. It's not very good. The key point to that, it's doing it with the front tire 2 foot off the ground through every gear. It has all the power in the world, but no wheelbase to be able to actually use it. For the majority of my runs, I'm at 3/4 throttle because I can't use wide open throttle. So, the first thing on this bike, when I bought it, it came with a simple K&N filter, no tune, it was stock, locked ECU, the works, and a Danmoto slip-on dual exhaust with a stock header. Okay, that's how I purchased the bike. I was told it was heavily modified, end quote. No, it wasn't heavily modified, which was a benefit, because Virgin bike's good. So the first thing I did, I went ahead and I did a pair valve delete. You aren't going to be able to see it up in there very well, but see, pairs are capped off. All right, not a big thing there. There's no power to be had. It just stopped popping through the exhaust. I then immediately decided it needed a tune because it kind of ran like crap. So I went ahead and ordered a Power Commander 5. This is just simple plug and play module. Took about 5 minutes to install, about as long as it takes to tip the tank back. I also purchased the Power Commander 5 ignition control module. That is set up with mildly advanced ignition timing on the NA map. Yes, this does use map switching. That was another probably 15-20 minute install because then I did have to pull the airbox, etc., etc. Before I went and got a tune, I had everything in place. That's the key I'm going to bring up. If you want to save money, the biggest expense is your tune. So do all the modifications you want to do in a chunk before you go get it tuned. All right, now the next thing I did is common small airbox mod. So normally there's a box here with a flapper valve, silencer, whatever the hell they call it, I don't know. All I know is it's a restriction in my book, so I cut that out. This still utilizes the stock air filter, so it is a good street application. Now you can do a large airbox mod, which involves cutting the entire floor out of this front half of the box, which allows all the airflow but no air filter. Okay, so it pretty much just eliminates the air filter at that point. I do not have shorty velocity stacks. I could have added shorties all the way across and that would have gained me some. Instead, I just went ahead and left the stocks because I like having some low end torque. Other than that, I've got launch control just to be able to roll onto the throttle, and when I hear the launch control start, that's where I stop. I don't have to stare at my gauge and know that I'm consistent. I can listen for it. I do have a clutch mod. That was just for drag racing. That wasn't power related. That takes this and locks it. You weld that up, centered perfectly. There's a jig for it. And put heavy springs in. Makes for the clutch being a royal pain, but it is what it is. With all those modifications and having the ECU unlocked and de-restricted, I had probably 650 bucks in it in modifications at that point. I worked out a pretty good map. Actually, it didn't take hardly any modification to my initial map to get the NA 160 wheel horsepower out of it. Now these, I've been told, depending on the dyno, you're going to get 145 to 154-ish wheel horsepower, depending on the engine. No engines put out the same power. So, not bad gains. About 10 horsepower, we'll call it, at best. 10 horsepower from an airbox mod, a slip-on, and a programmer. All right, the biggest thing is I gained all the power down low. De-restricting the ECU unlocks all the low-end power, and something you're never going to use until you go for bigger power, it took the speed limiter off. I also did rev extend out to 11.5. So now let's get into what we did to make 200 wheel horsepower. This was more cheating, but you guys all know my style, so let's hit it. As I said, y'all know my style. I like giggle gas. So this is the Tiger Racing underhump bottle bracket. Hides it under the hump. You never know it's there. It's a real tight fit, and I really, not a big fan of it, but the way it tucks it is nice. Holds a 2-pound NOS bottle. NOS is the only brand I've found that makes a 2-pound bottle. So that's what we got. Apparently, a few other companies did, and they no longer make them. The nitrous system on this is simple as simple can be, and it's self-progressing. So we'll start back here. The power commander has map switching. So the map switching wire is coming out and going into a relay. Out of that relay and to ground. All right. The other relay has battery power fused going in and comes out and goes to the nitrous solenoid, which is sitting right here. It is a cheap ProMod 0.078 orifice, so 200 horsepower capable, more than I'm ever going to use. Both of these relays are triggered by the same wire, and this is where it gets ghetto. I have no safeties on my nitrous. The wire runs up here, flash to pass, switches the map to map 2, which adds fuel, pulls timing, and turns on the nitrous all in one shebang. All right, the nitrous is coming through this line, which runs up along the inside above battery and needs to be about 3 to 4 inches longer. Comes down here to a nitrous outlet distribution block. Okay, I got 2 of them plugged off because I'm doing dual foggers. I'm not using a spray bar. I could go to a spray bar with this setup, and that will probably happen in the future, knowing this bike. It's going one on either side. You can see the other silver line over there at my fingertip. Up along the side here and into the ram air on a 90 inward, right? Let's see if we can see it. There. There's one. I'm about to poke right into the other anyway. It fogs prior to the air box. Prior to the air filter. What does this do? Well, it allows 2 things. One, my IAT sensor compensates for some of the fueling. All right. 2, I had to add fueling in the map, but not as much. It was actually safe to spray this on a small shot without adding fuel. I am running 20 horse per nozzle, so a 40 shot. That brought me, math tells you, 200 horsepower, and it proved itself on the dyno. That allowed me just enough to tip that 200 mile an hour mark, okay? Flat out, on a full bottle, if I take it all the way up as fast as I can, NA, which takes a hot minute, especially with the wind and me being a fat ass, if I spray it in top gear, it will stand, take it all the way up, and touch 200 and just tip past it, actually. GPS confirmed. No clue what that is on the Speedo, because the Speedo's already buried by the time I even reach for the nitrous. So that's what it took to get it. I'm going to go ahead and throw that clip here in the end of my pass. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There really isn't much to it. If you need any help doing any of this, go ahead and hit me up. I will start modifying this bike more in depth. The first step, we're going to stretch it. We need to get it down on the ground, stretch it, strap it, and we're going to start looking into cutting those plastics and getting a low pro oil pan. Thanks again for watching the Ringer 57 YouTube channel. I'm throwing this video together, and I'm not going to lie, just to try and tip that 10,000 minutes of view time. We are at 9,892 minutes of view time this month. That is a new personal record. We have teetered on this edge a couple times. We've never tipped 10,000. Let's see if we can do this video, guys. Till next time.